problem here. I think I got a temp sensor issue. That thing keeps blinking. So I'm running good. Water's not hot, but I think there's something wrong with that sensor or that circuit, and it's telling the engine that we are getting hot, and we're not getting, I mean, that's hot, but not like, and I don't have any electrical equipment here. I don't have my meter or any of that stuff. So now that we are back at the casita, let's go ahead and pull the cowling off, and let's get this temp sensor out of here, take a look at what's going on. This is the sensor right here. Plugs in right here. There'll be a ground and then one cable to it. So let me take this off, let me take that off, and we'll pull this sensor out and investigate what's going on here. So I don't have any apparent issues in my wiring here. So basically on an older system like this, the buzzer, as soon as you turn your key switch on, the buzzer itself is going to get 12 volts from the yellow wire. That 12 volts flows through the buzzer to the pink wire. The pink wire then sends that 12 volts throughout all the system. You're going to have 12 volts on this, basically all of your sensors, and whenever your sensor grounds out, it sounds the buzzer. So what I'm looking at for my blinking light is that I want to make sure that I have the same voltage here. So like right here, I got from my key switch, I got 13 volts there. If I come here, I get it in this bolt connector, 13 volts there. And then I need to test my pink wire here, and I don't have my voltage there, so something's not right there. Let me try and do this. I need to have two hands with this. I'm not sure why I don't have 12 volts on this wire or battery voltage when I have it everywhere else on the pink wire except for this one. This one goes to the tack. This one also goes to the tack, but neither one of these have that 12 volts. Not sure why they don't, because this does, this does, this does, this does, this does, this does. This one does not. This is the trim sender. Not entirely sure. I'm probably missing something somewhere, but I think this is supposed to, maybe my oil sensor's messed up. I need to do a little bit of investigation on my oil sensor here, because that's what's giving me my blinking light and possibly putting me into RPM reduction, even though I have plenty of oil. Boom, we full, baby. So let me look into this a little bit more, because yeah, as soon as I plug my oil circuit back in, oil circuit's in, and our blinking light is back on the gauge. Okay, so let me investigate my oil sensor here so we can go from there. All right, here's something that's interesting. So this is my oil sender. Come over here, you see the blue comes down, got pink, some greens, pink and some greens coming out the blue wire. If I come here and I plug this, 12.95 volts, which is my battery voltage, and then this wire goes into my harness here. Now outside of my harness, this is what goes to the gauge. On this pink wire, I've got 5.36 volts. Well, now I'm kind of thinking that my gauge might be messed up, because if I check this with it unplugged, I got 5 volts here, and this is coming from my gauge. So whenever I plug all this stuff into the engine, that's when it throws everything off, because I plug in the oil sensor and now it's got a ground partial ground, and we got partial 5 volts coming here, so it's like, I think my gauge might be messed up, because all my wiring here is good. My sensor's bad, I know that much. My trim sender, that's bad. Not worried about that. The oil sensor, I'm going to double check it and test it, but I'm pretty sure it's good. I'll do the resistance test on that, and then other than that, I'll tape all this back up. I'm gonna leave my gauge unplugged, and then we'll probably take it out to the water and go run it with a temp gun, make sure we're not overheating with my gauge disconnected, and I bet we can run wide open all day and not have any issues, because I don't think we're overheating. Oil sensor checked out good. I've left it unplugged right here, so my gauge is working as it should with my key switch on. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and run the boat as is. I know we're oiling, so I'm not concerned about that. I should probably look into replacing my trim sender and see if I can get one for cheap, but I'm going to put this like this. I did not button this all the way up and clean these wiring up. I just made sure that we're not anywhere near my shifting, and we're going to go put the boat in the water and we'll go run it and see, one, with the temp gauge, and then 2, to see if the alarm stops triggering falsely because of the gauge, which is very possible. So that's what we're going to do now. I mean, I'm cruising at 4,200 RPM all day doing 30 miles an hour, which is beautiful, but I want to do some wide open, so let's do some more investigation. All right, we got 170, 185, 190, right here, 196, 204, 170, 190, 140, 160, 148, 168. I think I might have a problem with my thermostat, so let me pop that out and see what's going on with that, because it did just get hot, and that's what the problem was. So let me pull the thermostat and take a look at it. So my thermostat's opened up and it's good to go, but my poppet valve is not opening up. Let me take this out and clean this a little bit. Got a little bit of Durbinski on there, so let me clean that out. Put it back in, which I can feel it starting to close now. Let me clean this thing up, and then I'll put it back in. And then I'm gonna leave my poppet valve out for right now and see if everything works properly, and make sure that my poppet valve is, maybe the spring or something's jacked up. Figure out what's going on with that. Not sure what it is, but I've got a hot spot right here where the sensor is. It's cooled down now, but we're 177, 183, 191. Not sure why that's not cooling right there. I must have something blocking it. It's right here too. I might be able to take my thermostat housing off and look down in there and see something. Let me crack this open and see if water's pouring out. I mean, I know it's cooling, because it's at 134 right here, but water is not flowing by my sensor for some reason. Everything else, my exhaust is a little hot. I am definitely hot. 290, 260, 223. 207. Yeah, for whatever reason, my exhaust is extremely hot. I don't like how this is right there on my crank sensor. I might need to get that tucked down. Took the thermostat out this time, and this thing is peeing like a beast. Water pouring out there, got water pouring out here. I mean, and that's like a good stream too. So my impeller is definitely working like a champ. I guess I could put that back on there, trim this thing up, and see how much water flow is coming out the thermostat housing. I got water coming out the exhaust, not a ton of water. There's barely any water coming out that exhaust. It's coming out this side, but not the other side. Yeah, it's just trickling out of there. There's some, but not like, that's not a lot of water coming out the exhaust. Which could be because I got that thing undone. Let me see how much water's coming out of there. There's no water coming out of here. What the heck? Barely any water. Hold on. Let me put this back on. There we go. There we go. Now we got water pouring out of there. I feel like I should have more water, but at least I'm flowing. Not a lot. Tighten this bad boy up and see what it does without the thermostat, because I know I got water flow. Got a lot of bubbles. Not, yeah, there, yeah, that's good. I mean, there's, I feel like I should have more water, but, oh no, there it goes. Yeah. All right, let's go run around a little bit more. Okay, no thermostat, no nothing. 140, 139, 133, 138, 140, 93, 95. I mean, I'm flowing great water. That exhaust is just getting hot for some reason, or my cylinders are getting warm. And my alarm goes off as I sit here and cool down. Funny thing is that I can run, it's a lot of back pressure too, I'm not sure, I can run 43, 44 RPM all day long, but as soon as I hit 45 for a stretch, it boom. I was thinking almost that the engine is mounted too high, because during a turn it'll start to cavitate when I turn. I'll not cavitate, but I'll ventilate, which means I'm losing pressure. I tried to have it fully tucked all the way, like maybe that was something that's going on there, but not entirely sure. I mean, maybe it's that transducer's messing me up and aerating the water, which is could be like that transducer could be aerating the water that I'm getting, but that's a lot of bubbles too. I mean, like maybe I got something plugged in my exhaust that's not blowing out. I'm just going to cruise around a little bit more around 42 and let it just maybe work its way out. But a lot of back pressure, bubbles coming out of my exhaust, not out the prop, but out there, like something's blocking it. Tilt it up. Very odd. I mean, I'm coming out the exhaust now with all those air bubbles. I wonder if I got something stuck in my exhaust. It's just not letting it go. I don't know what that would be. That would clog my exhaust. I am wondering about this though. I guess I could stick my wrench down there and open that up and flip it up and tighten it. Alright, so I want to go ahead and drop the lower unit, do an inspection on the impeller, take a look up in the exhaust, double check all that stuff. But main thing is I want to see what's going on with my impeller, make sure there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I mean, even though I'm flowing a lot of water, there could be potentially something else that's messing that up, that's not allowing me to get enough water, which is why I'm overheating it wide open throttle. Okay, so nothing apparently condemning just yet. Let me pull this off and we'll take a look-see at what she looks like. Yeah, I don't know if there's really anything wrong with this impeller. My blades all look good. A little bit of bend on the backside, but they've got nice flexibility. Look at how they twist in when they hit that gasket right there. See how much that twists in? That's got a lot of flexibility, so it ain't like, and then it flips right back out. No problem. I don't think there's anything wrong with this impeller. I could get another one and change it and try that, but just don't think that that's my problem. I mean, the cup looks good. A little bit of rust right there, but nothing wrong with this. The bottom of my impeller looks good. Water pump plate looks good. I don't think my impeller is my problem, which is unfortunate. Nothing wrong with that. Water flow all the way around, no problems. Clean all the way around, clean all the way around. No damage to the intakes, no issue there. I was wondering about this piece right here, and if my exhaust is getting hot and getting my water hot where the water tube is. That's potentially something to consider, but nothing on my lower unit that is concerning to me. Let me go look up in the engine. So here's our exhaust dumping out there. Looks all good, no issues. Dumps out right there. My water tube looks a little cruddy, but not condemning. I have nothing visibly wrong. I guess I could order an impeller, put that on there, see what happens. But I don't think there's anything wrong with this impeller. I think I got something else going on. But I'll go ahead and get an impeller just to replace this one and be 100% sure. And then we'll see what happens. So this is an OEM Yamaha impeller. This thing is a massive pain to get onto here, even to get it off. I mean, it doesn't look bad. We're going to try this here, which is a South Side or South Marine. Basically the same thing that we got here for our switch for neutral safety switch or shift position switch. I'm going to put this on there. We're going to try this and see how this goes. I'm going to compare this one to that one, make sure there's no differences, and we'll stick it on there and we'll see what happens. Alright, so this went on there so much smoother. You see I can take that thing off and then slide it on. That's how it should be normally. I don't know what's up with this one. Maybe there's something wrong with that one. I don't know. You can't really see a difference, but there must be a difference. Let me put the housing back on there. We'll put this back on the lower unit, or put this back on the engine, fix our shift position switch, and then once we do that, we can take the boat to the water and see if that was our problem. Alright, we are back together. We are ready to go to the ramp. All good to go. Position switch is in. All good to go. No issues there. Yeah, let me put the cover on here and then we'll take this and put it in the water. Alright, so let's see if our new impeller does anything for our overheat at wide open throttle. I'm just going to run around a little bit and then get it up to about 4,500 RPM, and we'll see if we overheat. If we do, that's not good. If we don't, that'd be awesome. Well, it is still overheating. I ran it for about 15-20 minutes, maybe a little bit more, and it is still heating. So I'm going to take the valve cover off and possibly even take the head off of this engine to figure out what's going on. I thought we got lucky with the impeller. Maybe it was like a COVID impeller, but that was not the case. And she's definitely still getting hot on the head, so I'm going to take valve cover off, and possibly even take the head off and see if we can see what's going on here. There's still no thermostat, no poppet valve in there, but yeah, that's kind of what's going on here. Yeah, let's take it back, put it on the trailer, take it to the house, and rip into this thing. I'm not sure why it took me so long to check this, but something else that I should have done a long time ago was check the engine height on this thing and see if that is playing a role here. Tuck this thing all the way down and let's take a look at what our engine height is. All right, so off the bottom of the boat, honestly, I think that's pretty perfect. I guess with a little bit of trim, it could be a little high. We could probably come down, because once you put speed on this thing, I bet we could come down a hole, because that's probably aerating and ventilating my cooling water. So realistically, I think we need to come down one hole, because with a little bit of trim, I mean, that's going to be pushing it hard with that water coming off of there. Yeah, I think this needs to come down a hole, actually. Oh, that's going to be a pickle. So there's a little bit of trim, which takes it. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, with any little bit of trim, that thing has got to be ventilating and losing water pressure. We've got to come down at least one hole. So I might have to split this into another video to do that, because that's going to be a pickle. And I think I do need to change out this propeller, because this thing, that even though I straightened that out, that has still got a pretty good lip there compared to that blade. You see that like ripple? That's definitely causing a vibration in my engine at slow speeds. And the paint's starting to chip off too after, well, not long. I mean, this all looking good. That's all looking good. This looks decent, but the blades definitely starting to chip off, especially when I get into sand. But I was expecting that. Paint on the lower unit's still holding up though. So yeah, let's see about lowering this engine a hole. Well, bolts are out. Those are loosened. I'm definitely... Oh, there it goes. We're undone there. On this side. We're undone on this side. So now... Okay, that's just... Oh, it did. Boom, right there. Well, that actually worked ridiculously well. So got the engine lowered by one hole, which is exactly what we wanted to do. Well, I think we have fixed our overheat issue, but the issue now is that I see why they had the engine up so high. Massive amounts of water coming off of that plate. This thing has such a negative degree. I might be able to take my pin out, move it up maybe to like 2 or 3 there. See what that does. Like if I put the stop like there maybe I'm gonna try and put the stop in hole 3. So if I put this stop right here in hole 3, that should help some as far as removing the negative trim out of there. But now it's almost like, do we put a hydrofoil on this thing, or like what, you know, what's the deal here? What do we, because that's a lot of spray. Look at the back of this boat. The whole back of this boat is wet from the spray. I mean, granted, it is not the best conditions out here right now, but do we put a hydrofoil on there? Let me move the stop and let's see where that sticks us as far as taking off and running, because as soon as you get on plane with this thing having so much negative trim, it's just blasting that anti-ventilation plate and just spraying water everywhere. But our P stream is fantastic, and we're not overheating anymore. We've actually gotten to 5,200 RPM. We might have hit 53, almost 37 miles an hour, which is like 4 miles an hour faster than it was, as well as getting us about 400 RPM out of the tack. So these are all good things. Let me trim this up, move that pin out, and then I'll take off a couple more times and see what happens. All right, so I am happy with where we're at now. That actually worked out great, just moving that down and take the negative trim out of it. So what I need to do now, and I also topped off the oil because she's drinking a lot of oil, as it should. We're also drinking a lot of fuel too. I'm just over half tank. I thought I was down to half tank. When I went to the back, I went down to half tank. So drinking fuel, drinking oil. That's a 2-stroke. Let me put the thermostat and the poppet valve back in the engine, and then we'll run a couple more laps to make sure that the overheat issue is 100% solved. The engine was just too low. Beautiful.